Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Couple and their teen son charged after allegedly using stolen credit card multiple times in Niagara region. Police told to take training on pursuits after fatal wrong-way GTA highway crash. Suspect facing more than 280 charges in connection with alleged LCBO theft totaling $88,000, York Regional Police. Ajax dessert shop featured by Keith Lee forced to move after zoning complaint. Completely unworthy of belief, Toronto cop who stole credit cards luxury watch from the dead found guilty. Breast cancer screening should start at age 40, Canadian Cancer Society says. Another suspect arrested in Pearson Airport gold heist, police.
These were the headlines and let's jump right into the details.
A small Ajax dessert shop that recently received a glowing review from celebrity food critic Keith Lee is being forced to move after zoning complaint was made following the social media influencer's visit last month. On April 5th, Lee paid a visit to Biscuits to Baskets, a small dessert shop located in the backyard shed of a home in a quiet residential neighborhood in Ajax. The business saw a big boost in customers immediately after Lee posted a TikTok video to his 16 million followers offering a positive review of the local shop. But just weeks after Lee's visit, the business was told by the municipality that it could no longer stay in the backyard building where it currently operates after zoning complaint was made to the municipality. The post went on to explain that in order to continue to operate, they will now have to run the shop out of the main house on the property starting on June 1st. The owners said they have been operating as a home-based business for 20 years and 5 years ago they decided to move out of the business to backyard shed. They added that they were following all protocols to the best of our knowledge. In the post, they told customers that hours will not be impacted and that the only change is where patrons will have to pick up their treats. According to the statement, the letter indicated that they were not operating legally within the town's zoning bylaw due to operating their home-based business in an accessory building on their property. They confirmed that this letter was sent after a complaint was made to the town's bylaw department following Lee's visit. In a video posted on social media this week, Lee responded to the complaint, adding that he reached out to the family who owned the business to see how he could help. Lee said the shop is now selling t-shirts inspired by his visit to help raise funds to move to a new location. He added that with the family's permission, he started both Cash App and PayPal accounts for people to donate to in order to support the business. These food reviews have established a phenomenon known as the Keith Lee effect, driving hordes of new customers to businesses that received a nod from the food critic. In the statement released on social media, Biscuits to Baskets acknowledged that while Lee's review has helped increase its customer base, they still don't have enough cash for a big move. Another suspect is in custody in connection with gold heist at Toronto Pearson International Airport last year, police say. In a news release, police said Archit Grover, a 36-year-old man from Brampton, was arrested on May 6th. He was arrested after flying into Toronto from India for theft over $5,000 and conspiracy to commit an indictable offense. Grover is also being indicted in the United States for firearm-related charges, police said. Peel Regional Police identified and charged or issued warrants for 10 individuals laying over 21 charges last month. Police announced the charges at a press conference 1 year after the largest gold heist in Canadian history on April 17, 2023, after a flight landed at the Toronto airport from Zurich, Switzerland. On board there were 6,600 gold bars of 99.9% purity that weighed more than 400 kilograms, which police valued at $20 million, along with Canadian $2.5 million in foreign currency. More details to come. A veteran Toronto police officer was found guilty this week of stealing credit cards and a $6,500 watch from the deceased individuals he was tasked with investigating. An Ontario judge found Constable Boris Borisov guilty Wednesday of all 15 charges laid against him in connection with the 5 incidents that occurred between 2020 and 2022, including being in possession of stolen Honda Pilot and misusing a police database to assist and accomplice in fraudulently acquiring vehicles. On February 18, 2022, Borisov and another officer were called to the apartment of a man who was reported missing and later found to have committed suicide. A court heard that while Borisov was investigating, he stole the man's debit card, which was used by an associate named Zizomir Molov at a Mississauga butcher shop the next day. The Crown told the court Borisov attended the butcher shop and downloaded the surveillance footage of Molov and submitted a false report in an attempt to obstruct justice. Borisov also took a tag heuer wristwatch valued at $6,500 from the deceased individual's apartment and tried to sell it. The Crown said the watch was never found. In this testimony, Borisov argued that the tag watch box was empty when he arrived at the apartment. He also said the only reason his phone records revealed he had Googled the brand's name after the search was because he was curious about the watches. As for how Borisov came to the possession of the deceased's wallet, he told the court he found it inside a jacket discovered at the waterfront during the investigation and was concerned the wind that day would blow it away, which prompted him to bring the coat to his scout car. In a separate incident, Borisov was investigating the death of a woman in May 26, 2020 when he stole her credit card and gave the information to an unknown individual who then used it to make fraudulent purchases, the court records show. Borisov was arrested on April 11, 2022. During the trial, the court heard that Borisov was in possession of a stolen Honda Pilot at the time of his arrest, a vehicle he had obtained from Mr. Molov that has equipped with a GPS jammer. Borisov was also convicted for his involvement in Molov's scheme to obtain vehicles by fraud, which saw the Toronto cop misuse police databases to ensure that the scheme went undetected. Borisov, who pleaded not guilty to the charges, is a 16-year veteran of the police service and has been suspended with pay since February 2022. Police officers and emergency dispatchers in Durham region have been instructed to complete a mandatory training course on suspect pursuits within the next 2 months in the light of wrong-way highway crash that killed an infant and his grandparents. Police said the training is required annually but confirmed the instructions to complete it within a 2-month time frame are due to last week's fatal crash. Ontario's police watchdog has said a 60-year-old man and 55-year-old woman who were visiting from India and their 3-month-old grandson died in a crash that involved a van being chased by police while going the wrong way on Highway 401. The baby's parents, who live in Ajax, Ontario, survived the April 29 crash. The Special Investigations Unit has said Durham Region Police were chasing a cargo van that had been identified as a vehicle of interest in an alleged liquor store robbery in Clarington, Ontario, with the pursuit shifting to Highway 401. The driver of the van, who was also killed in the crash, was identified as a 21-year-old man, while a 38-year-old male passenger suffered serious injuries. The crash has raised questions about the police's decision to pursue a suspect van in an alleged liquor store robbery into oncoming traffic on one of Canada's busiest highways. A couple and their teenage son are facing more than 24 charges after allegedly using a stolen credit card to make purchases across the Niagara region. Niagara police said they began an investigation last March into the theft of a credit card. Investigators found that the card was fraudulently used between March 12 and March 25th at multiple businesses in the region. Police said investigators collected security footage from those businesses and were able to identify the suspects. Early this week, officers arrested 3 suspects who are from Port Colborne. A 58-year-old man has been charged with 9 counts of unauthorized use of credit card and 1 count of possession of property obtained by crime, while a 45-year-old woman has been charged with 2 counts of unauthorized use of a credit card. Meanwhile, their son, a 16-year-old boy, is facing 13 counts of unauthorized use of a credit card and 1 count of possession of property obtained by crime. The 3 accused were released on Form 10 undertakings. Police said they cannot identify the 2 adults because doing so would lead to identification of the boy. Under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, police cannot release the boy's name. York Regional Police say they have laid more than 280 charges against a single suspect as part of an ongoing investigation into retail thefts in Ontario. Police said they began investigating a suspect in January in connection with 45 thefts involving more than $88,000 worth of stolen merchandise. The investigation was led by York Regional Police Special Enforcement Team (SET) in cooperation with the LCBO's Resource Protection Unit. Police said the investigation culminated in the arrest of the suspect along with two others in the parking lot of a Mississauga apartment complex on March 25th. Police said that during the arrest, the suspect assaulted an officer and attempted to flee in a vehicle but was stopped by police. At the time of the offences, police said the suspect was on a condition not to attend any LCBO locations in Ontario. Investigators said Thursday that 40-year-old Matthew Duquette of Mississauga is now facing 282 charges, including 45 counts of theft, 184 counts of breaching a release order, 45 counts of failing to comply with probation, and assaulting police with intent to resist arrest. Investigators have also charged 42-year-old Sarah McBride and 63-year-old Bruce Duquette with a number of offences, including theft and possession of property obtained by crime. In all, YRP said they laid more than 300 charges in connection with the investigation. Investigators said Thursday that they believe there are other retail stores which may have been targeted and are asking any additional victims to contact police. All provinces and territories should lower the starting age for breast cancer screening to 40, the Canadian Cancer Society said Thursday. Some provinces already pay for mammograms starting at age 40, but the current guidelines set by a national task force advises beginning breast cancer screening at age 50. It's critical for women across the country to have timely access to breast screening, no matter where they live, said Sandra Cook, the Cancer Society's Executive Vice President of Mission, Information and Support Services. There's strong enough evidence from trials, from modeling studies, and from real-world data to warrant that shift to 40, said Sandra in an interview. We have been hearing for a long time now that there's concern about that age 40 to 49 and the ability to access screening. About 13% of breast cancer cases in Canada occur in women in that age group, Sandra said. Early diagnosis often means less invasive treatment is required and outcomes are more successful, she said. The Canadian Task Force on Preventive Healthcare, which sets clinical guidelines to help family doctors and nurse practitioners decide whether and when to suggest screening, currently recommends routine screening starting at age 50 for people at average risk of breast cancer. The task force is scheduled to revise its guidance this spring, but said in an email that a detailed review of clinical trials, international best practices, and the other data is still underway and did not confirm what updated advice will be. The Canadian Task Force respects the Canadian Cancer Society and its important work, she said. Even if the task force recommends that screening begin at age 40, it's ultimately up to the provinces and territories to fund it, the Cancer Society said. 1 in 8 women in Canada is expected to be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime, the Cancer Society says.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.